Take a look at these pictures. A local woman says she came home and found her driveway was missing. Now we're working to find out why this costly mistake happened in the first place. Live next.
You might already know the day's headlines.
But on WFTV tonight, we give you the newest take on the day's biggest stories, showing you all sides.
So you know why it matters to you.
WFTV tonight, weeknights at 10 on TV 27.
On WFTV tonight, a sudden disappearance has left one local family speechless.
They say someone removed their driveway and now they're trying to get it back.
It was very upsetting to me, and I just want to find the person who did this.
New and only on Channel 9, we're walking you through this bizarre scenario that officers are now investigating.
Then a caretaker accused of sneaking a patient with disabilities out of a local facility is trying to get her license back. Why she believes she should still be able to care for others while her case plays out in court.
And an innocent like on Facebook cost one woman hundreds of dollars.
Juegan con la emoción de uno, con los sentimientos de uno.
It's all part of an elaborate scheme scammers are now using to take advantage of you. Tonight, Action 9 explains what to look out for so you can tell the difference between what's real and what isn't.
This is WFTV Tonight.
We begin with the story you'll only see on Channel 9. It's the season of property crimes, but this one goes above and beyond. Good evening, I'm Rafael Puris.
And I'm Carla Ray. Tonight, deputies are investigating after someone ran off with an Orange County woman's driveway while she was at work. You heard that right. And now our Nick Papantonis is looking into the situation and why that woman says it happened at the worst possible time.
The family was already on the clock because they're trying to buy another house. They say this has put that in jeopardy.
Come home and my driveway's gone.
Amanda Brochu isn't exaggerating. What used to be a concrete slab outside 1438 Bethesda Street is now a patch of dirt that she didn't ask for. Someone took her driveway as she was trying to get ready for Christmas.
Of all the things that you worried about getting stolen, did you think the driveway was one of them?
No, not at all.
Brochu says it all started when she put her home up for sale. Strange contractors started coming by, measuring her driveway. Her son counted 5 of them. One told Brochu a Tampa area man identified as Andre asked them to price out a replacement. Text messages supplied by the contractor showed Andre asking the contractors for an estimate and giving the Bethesda Street address. But Andre was out of town when this contractor asked for an in-person meeting and then cut off communication when asked for proof of ownership. Brochu called law enforcement.
After the cops spoke to them, they called me back, and they said that he said it was a mistake, he just got the address wrong, nothing else will happen again.
1 week later, this image from Brochu's doorbell camera captured a bulldozer tearing out the concrete and hauling it away.
Utter shock. I've never seen this before. I've never had this happen to myself or anyone in our office.
Real estate agent Rocky Sanchez is helping Brochu sell her home. She posted about the situation in a Facebook group for realtors and believes Brochu is the victim of a scam. But neither woman knows what the scam is.
Had multiple people come forward saying that they've seen things like this happen, whether it be driveways, roofs, painting, even outside the exterior. So it happens more often than we actually see it.
Deputies have launched a criminal investigation into the situation, but Brochu needs additional help. She says she just replaced the roof and made other investments and doesn't have the $10,000 she's been quoted to replace the concrete. If she doesn't fix the driveway and sell the home in the next 2 weeks, she'll lose out on the home she's under contract to buy down the road.
No one's going to buy this. This brings down the property now, and that just messes it up for me and my family.
The family is now trying to scrape together the money to pay for a replacement driveway. They've set up a GoFundMe to help them on that. We're going to put a link to that on WFTV.com. In Orange County, Nick Papantonis, WFTV Tonight.
What a bizarre story. And tonight we are tracking a significant cool down coming to Central Florida.
So let's check in now with certified meteorologist George Waldenberger in Severe Weather Center 9. And George, we can feel those temps starting to drop outside.
You really can. And something else is now beginning to form. This is a live look I-75 north of Ocala. You notice the haze in the camera here. we have fog developing, and this is what happens when you have a lot of moisture in the air from the rain that we had earlier today, and the temperatures drop. So visibility's down in parts of Ocala, where you see the gray shading here. We'll watch other spots for potential fog formation overnight as well. Temperatures now down to the 50s, low 50s even in Ocala, and the front is beginning to push into Marion County as we speak. It will follow suit, crossing the rest of central Florida over the next few hours. Still a few stray showers near Point Siena at this point. Very slight chance for any more rain to fall and hit the ground, but temperatures will continue to level off overnight. 50 degrees by morning. Again, be prepared for areas of fog overnight. Coming up, this is just the beginning. We're going to phase out the rain for the rest of the year, and the temperatures will keep falling. So I'll take you day by day the changes all the way through New Year's Eve. Carla?
All right, and you can keep an eye on those falling temperatures as well with the Channel 9 weather app. It is free to download, and you can find it right now in the Apple App Store and Google Play. New tonight, police in Mascot say a homeowner shot someone who was breaking into their home. That suspect is a 16-year-old boy. It happened just after 6 o'clock this morning at a home in the West Cardinal Pines subdivision on Pine Needle Drive. The teen is now in critical condition. Police say he may be linked to an earlier attempted break-in in the area.
And right now, Leesburg police are looking for this man who they say shot and killed someone. The shooting happened in a neighborhood on West Main Street last night, not far from US 27. Neighbors told us off camera they heard several shots before police showed up to the scene around 9. When they arrived, officers found 37-year-old LaKendrick Hall on the ground. He was taken to the hospital where he later died from his injuries. Right now, it's still unclear why the shooting happened, but we do know police got a search warrant for this home and questioned several people inside, leading them to name Kevin Harrison as the shooter. Anyone with information on where Harrison could be is asked to call Leesburg police.
A caretaker accused of kidnapping a patient with disabilities out of an Apopka facility wants to get her license back to reopen her group home. Police say Deborah Hodge took the patient out of the Quest Day facility back in October. The two were later found during a traffic stop in Brevard County. But today in court, our Felicia Ashley learned that wasn't the only thing investigators found in the vehicle.
An apparent Hollywood love story ruined in the blink of an eye.
Estoy loco por ti y estoy enamorada y mira, ven para darte el anillo.
Those messages coming from who she believed was a famous movie star. Next, how she ended up losing hundreds of dollars and the man of her dreams in an AI scam.
Sky Witness 9 on Channel 9 Eyewitness News, bringing you closer to the scene during live breaking news. Sponsored by attorney Dan Newland.
AI technology is creeping its way into our daily lives, and scammers have found new ways to use it to pump up their cons. Action 9 spoke to a local woman who was tricked into believing she was speaking with a popular actor.
Consumer investigator Jeff Deal uncovered a new twist on a romance scam, and you won't believe how it happened. Wow.
Yeah, the technology is just getting way too good.
It's hard to keep up, right? Especially for people who are trying to keep up with technology at a most basic level.
Yeah, and as we head into a political year, it's very important to know what's real and what's not.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Exercise an ounce of skepticism.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, here's what we have coming up in the weather department. A couple days of cold air, and that's how we're going to finish up the year. Tonight we'll feel colder. It already does, 40s and 50s by morning, but tomorrow night colder yet. We'll have 40s and a couple areas in the 30s tomorrow night into Saturday morning. And that won't even be the coldest weather that we're talking about in this upcoming cold stretch. Meanwhile, it is not a bad night, a little hazy out there. Some areas are seeing fog develop. Low 50s in Ocala, so very cool off to the northwest where the cool front has already moved in. And this will pass us overnight through morning. And you're seeing a little bit of rain there. That's in the process of falling apart. Some showers earlier near Point Siena. That's about gone at this point. So now we're pretty much dry for the rest of the year. So just be advised on some of the roadways, especially here, I-75 and some of these roadways between Denellen, Ocala, and off to the north. Areas of fog possible through tomorrow morning. Now, planning your Friday, I know many of you may not be working tomorrow. Either way, if you're doing outdoors chores or running errands or working, realize It'll be a little breezy tomorrow. We'll have a mix of clouds and sun. Looks to be kind of a higher, more cirrus clouds, but they could be pretty thick, blocking out the sun, keeping us from warming up that much. Now, tomorrow night into Saturday morning, it will feel colder yet. Some areas here, inland Flagler and northern Marion County, into the upper 30s, mid 40s in Orlando, low 40s Daytona Beach. And then as we head toward Saturday night into Sunday morning, that's when I think we're the coldest. At this point, low to mid 40s in Orlando. That'd be our coldest weather yet this season. More 30s for some of the northern communities. At this point, we'll watch frost potential for Sunday morning in areas around Marion County. And if the winds are blowing, we'll have to take an eye on, or keep an eye on, rather, the wind chill numbers, something we don't often talk about here in Central Florida, but we may this weekend. And then New Year's Eve, your forecast into the 40s at midnight. So a chilly New Year's Eve. And with this first front, this will actually set the stage for a few more fronts. And I really think the next 2 weeks, we will get repeating fronts that will keep us cooler than normal. We may, though, as we head toward the middle of January, push back up toward that 80-degree mark. But it's going to be a while. So for now, try and deal or chill out in the cool weather. Your 7-day forecast, the weekend always in view. Again, very chilly, and just realize the winds are going to be a little breezy tomorrow, but we stay cool and dry all weekend. Those upcoming fronts bring a slight chance of rain Tuesday and a higher chance for rain next Thursday. Raphael?
All right, George, thank you. Thousands of elementary school students are doing their part to help the environment.
Their child now goes home and says, "Why aren't we composting this?"
Coming up, how much food waste they're keeping out of the landfill. And next, we're walking you through the new law aimed at improving relations between law enforcement and people with special needs and mental illnesses.
Weather from Severe Weather Center 9 is brought to you by the law offices of Attorney Dan Newland.
A new Florida law will go into effect next year aimed at improving relations between law enforcement and people with special needs or mental illnesses.
Channel 9's Sam Martello explains how the Protect Our Loved Ones Act will work.
More than 20 years after the September 11th attacks, health coverage for people who got sick because of toxins is now expanding. Coming up, the impact this will have on people who are not first responders. And next, how the Seminole County Sheriff plans to use this building to help people fighting drug addiction.
Central Florida is getting real about inequality.
From policing reforms, healthcare, and affordable housing for all.
And Eyewitness News is committed to bringing you these stories.
It's an opportunity for all views to be heard.
Central Florida gets real on Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Seminole County Sheriff Dennis Lima wants to expand the Hope and Healing program here. Drone 9 actually flew over the location the sheriff is eyeing.
This comes 2 years after the program, which helps those suffering from addiction, got started. The building is in Altamont Springs on 436, just across the street from Advent Health. Channel 9 Seminole County reporter Jeff Coolidge explains where the money for the expansion would come from.
When we think about health problems stemming from the September 11th terror attacks, we often think of the first responders on the front lines. But many people who worked or lived nearby were exposed to the same toxins. Now there's a change to help them get the health coverage they need. Samantha Manning details the critical updates of the 9/11 healthcare program.
The Brevard County Veterans Services will be opening its newest office next week. The office at the Palm Bay City Hall will help veterans and their families in the Palm Bay area. It'll open next Tuesday morning and stay open Monday through Friday from 8 to 4:30. County officials say that appointments are required for all veteran services, but walk-ins could be accommodated based on availability.
A new study finds children are far more vulnerable to hospitalizations from RSV than any other virus. The research from a journal by the Medical Association found hospitalization rates were over 80% for RSV compared to over 30% for the Omicron variant of COVID-19 and 27% for the flu. The FDA approved an RSV vaccine for kids under 2 this past summer. The White House is also asking manufacturers to increase availability for it for next year's season.
The inhalers that many people use are going to disappear from pharmacy shelves in just 4 days. Industry insiders say that GSK is discontinuing the Flovent inhaler because of Medicaid rebate changes. So for people who use Flovent, doctors say an authorized generic version will work just as well, but it's not as widely covered by insurers. So keep that in mind.
We have new details on a Spirit Airlines flight that flew a little boy to the wrong city here in Florida. Spirit Airlines says a gate agent escorted the 6-year-old boy to the wrong plane in Philadelphia where he took off from. The little boy was supposed to land in Fort Myers last Thursday to meet his grandma, but instead he ended up in Orlando. The airline says the agent is no longer working with them. And thousands of local children are helping keep food waste out of landfills.
The noticeable impact this project is having after just 4 months. That's next.
And here we go. The coldest weather yet this season comes this weekend. Next, we'll talk about the weather pattern that's going to allow this to happen and just how long you're going to have to wait for it to actually warm back up.
More than 1 million tons. That's how much trash we have filled the Orange County landfill with this year. So the Orange County School District and 21 local schools have started a new project to offset this very, very large number.
And one of those schools, Avalon Elementary, invited certified meteorologist George Waldenberger in to discuss their project over lunch.
Very cool idea and something we could all do.
Yeah, so cool to see that they're getting the kids involved too, so really awesome.
And kids don't eat a lot of their lunch, so a lot is going into that composting.
Yeah, using what would otherwise be just thrown in the trash.
Exactly.
The kids were super excited about it. So, I don't know, it's a really basic concept, but they're bringing new life into it.
Love it.
All right, we're going to bring new life into the forecast with a little bit of cold air. Coldest weather yet this season arrives Sunday morning. Here's the weather pattern. This time of year, we look for ridging, high pressure. This is a warmer weather pattern. And with that ridging kind of shoved back to the west, that sets the stage or allows these cold pools to kind of plunge in from the north. At the surface, we would have cold fronts, but you'll see we'll have repeating little bouts. These storms continue one after another, and it looks like starting basically now, we're going to be cooler than normal for about 2 weeks. Okay, if you want 80-degree weather, it will return, but you may have to wait about 2 weeks for it. So right now we're in the 50s, low 50s in Ocala. We have fog developing in parts of Sumter and Marion counties at this point where visibilities are reduced at roadways. You can see that here. So the first thing I want you to be advised, just be prepared for fog if you're traveling late night tonight or tomorrow morning. Where's the fog coming from? Well, the temperatures are cooling. That's one ingredient. The second one is moisture. We had all this rain over the past 24 hours, more than a ½ inch in some spots. So all that moisture is sticking around in the air near low levels. That's the other ingredient. So fog is developing. This will be possible through morning. Then the air will dry out further with a cold blast. And then we should be fairly clear as we head into the weekend. Tomorrow, though, I think we have some high clouds mixed with sun and a gusty breeze after the front passes. You can see the rain clearing, though. Overnight temperatures tonight feel colder than we felt in a while. Low 50s in Orlando and New Smyrna Beach and Titusville. Mid to upper 40s, Ocala, the Villages, DeLand, and De Leon Springs. Then hour by hour tomorrow, not much of a warm-up. Not much at all. 50s, mix of clouds and sun, and realize again, it'll be breezy tomorrow. So if you're working outside and you're from the south side or the southeast side of a lake, it will be a gusty afternoon, kind of blustery. That wind is going to feel cool tomorrow. Then as we go morning by morning, Sunday will be the coolest morning, and then we'll begin to warm back up a little bit before the next front. But I want to highlight New Year's Eve, which, a reminder, is Sunday night at midnight. The temperatures, if you plan on being out that night, this is what you can expect at midnight. Mid to upper 40s, I-4 corridor, low 40s, northwest of I-4. A little more mild in Brevard County, but all of us feeling cool. Here's your 7-day forecast. The weekend always in view. Remember, tomorrow is dry, cool, and breezy. Cold on Saturday morning and in the afternoon as well, but not as breezy. Sunday afternoon, we get a little sun. Sunday night's New Year's Eve. I hope you have fun that night and stay safe. Then two fronts, Tuesday and Thursday will give us a chance for rain, but more importantly, keep the temperatures from warming up. Raphael?
All right, George, the first of 2 bowl games at Camping World Stadium kicked off tonight. Highlights from the Pop-Tarts Bowl when we come back.
Closed captioning ensures all viewers have access to our programming here on Channel 9 and provides a critical link by delivering important local coverage with stories that impact our community. Closed captioning on Channel 9 is sponsored by Attorney Dan Newlin.
The first ever Pop-Tarts Bowl left no pastry unturned. NC State and Kansas State put on a show here at Camping World Stadium. Now, this could be one of the coolest traditions in college football during the bowl season. The Pop-Tarts mascot making a dramatic reveal, almost like a Beyonce concert. The fans loved every single moment of it.
Congrats to Kansas State, but can we talk about the real star of the bowl here?
The dancing mascot, the Pop-Tart.
The giant dancing Pop-Tart.
That was
I know that
awesome.
I'm not the only one up here craving a Pop-Tart right now, right? Like, we definitely are getting them.
100%, as long as we're all talking about the best one, right?
Yes,
Which is
the blueberry.
Strawberry.
Uh-oh. All right.
Dispute.
Okay. All right, let's do the weather and then we'll finish this. First off, tomorrow morning, it'll be the coldest morning in about a week. Areas of fog tonight through tomorrow morning. Keep that in mind. And then we have a chilly weekend as we end the year. So get the toaster out, get those Pop-Tarts nice and hot, because each morning it'll be chilly, especially Sunday. And Sunday night into New Year's Eve, cold as well. All week, we're looking colder than normal, as a matter of fact. We'll likely wait about 2 weeks before we reach that 80-degree mark again.
Pop-Tart over the fire pit.
A s'mores Pop-Tart over the fire pit.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Common ground here.
Yes, here we go.
Love to see it.
Have a great night.
Have a great night.